Hi, welcome back. Here we will discuss about the managed and the unmanaged disk in Azure. So, if you see the diagram, the unmanaged disk is basically this disk will be stored in the storage account, and this will be managed by the user. So Azure will not manage anything if this disk is of the type unmanaged disk, and the managed is the disk where somewhere where Azure is managing the disk, and it manages the disk in the sense like it takes a backup of the disk, make sure the high availability of the disk and everything is managed. That's the reason it's a managed service. It's a managed disk which is already, or it's everything is taken care by Azure. And the main difference is also of the pricing. So in the managed disk, if you select a disk maybe of like 100 GB, so whether you use 100 GB or not, Azure will charge you for 100 GB. But in case of unmanaged disk, if you're using 100 GB, or if you allocate 100 GB but if you're not using 100 GB, if you're using for example say 50 GB, then in that case Azure will not charge you for the remaining 50 GB. So this is again a main difference between unmanaged disk and the managed disk. Now, let me show you on the portal, on the Azure portal. Let's see how we can go and create this disk. So, for creating this disk, first we have to create a storage account. Now, in the storage account, we can go and create a storage account for. So, I will go and create the a resource group first, and then storage account name. So maybe like I can say data disk. Data disk storage. Okay, and let's select the East US as my location. You can select anyone. So now here there are two performance type. One is the premium and one is the standard. If you select standard, then what you can do is you can only attach a standard HDD disk to this storage account. And if you click like select premium, then you can select the premium disk to this storage account. So let's go for the standard one here. This we can keep as is, and then finally I can go review and create. So rest everything we will keep default, which is given here, and then we will go and create the storage account. So let me create the storage account and come back again once it is up and running. So our storage account is created. So let me go back to my, so this is my disk, this is my storage account, data disk storage. And if you see here the containers, it should be blank now. Yes. So now what exactly we can do, this is a storage where we will go and create our or store our unmanaged disk. Let me go back to my virtual machine. So now I will create a virtual machine, and in this virtual machine what we will do is we will create a unmanaged disk here. So let me say it is a test VM. Make sure the region is same, and then let's select the Windows 2019 server, and then you can select any size here. So I can select an Azure Spot for pricing. Okay, so now, okay, disk. So now here the disk is important. So if you go to advanced here, by default if you see here Azure is selected, use the manage disk. So I will uncheck this. When the moment I will uncheck this, what will happen is it gives me the so it creates, first of all it creates a storage account here, which is a new storage account here, but I need a storage account which I created. So the reason it's not showing me because I have selected here premium SSD, but my storage account is for a standard HDD. So let me go for standard HDD here, and let's see. Yeah, if you see here now, this data disk storage, this is what we created. And what it means here, if I go and select this OS disk type as standard HDD, it will go and store this in the storage account. Okay, now let's select the yes. So now standard SSD is not supported for the unmanaged disk. This is something which you have to remember. And right now your premium is we can go with premium also, but here if you go with the premium, it's creating a new storage account here, but I don't want to do that. So you can do that combination also, and you can create a new storage account, and then yours this will be stored in this storage account. So in our use case, we will go with the HDD part with our storage account, and then let's go and create this virtual machine here. So let me create this virtual machine and come back again, and then so the main idea about this, once we create the virtual machine, I should see that HDD in my storage account. That's what something which we will confirm after creating this VM machine. So here my VM is up and running with the unmanaged disk. So let's go back to the storage account, and we can see in the storage account. So let me go back to the disk here. So this is my test VM, and I'm trying to see my OS disk. Okay, so let me go back to my storage account. Okay, in the storage account you can go to containers. Yes, so now, right, if you see here, I can see the my disk here. So this is my disk. Yeah, this is my disk. If you see here, this is the name which is given by this, and this is 127 GB, and this is a page blob. So this is the disk which is stored in my storage account which I created, and now I have to go and maintain this disk, and I have to take a backup. I have to make sure it is like highly available and everything. So that's a downside of the unmanaged disk, because you have to do everything on your own and make sure it's like available for all the VMs, and make sure it's up and running properly, proper backup is taken. And the advantage is that, like, here the cost of the disk is very less as compared to the managed disk. So one more thing what we said is, what we discussed about is, if you create a storage account with the type as premium, if you create with the type as premium, then you can attach a premium disk to this specific, or you can store a premium unmanaged disk to this specific storage account. So now let me go back to our virtual machine, and in this virtual machine what we can do is, we can see one more thing is, one more thing what I want to add here is, if I want to add a disk which is a data disk. So if I want to add a data disk here, one thing which you have to note here is, again, you cannot keep a combination of managed and unmanaged disk, because right now in our VM our OS disk is unmanaged, so you cannot have a data disk which is managed. So you should also have a data disk which is unmanaged. So that's the reason it's showing here attach unmanaged disk. You cannot attach a managed disk here, so you cannot have a combination of both. Either you have a managed disk with OS and data disk, or you have an unmanaged disk for both the OS and the data. So this is what we have to we should remember here. So hopefully this was useful, and gave more idea about the both the type of disk, and what is the upside and downside of both, the pros and cons of both the disk. And hopefully this added value. Thanks for watching.